Okay, so we got a hold of it. Watched the first 13 minutes of the new Jojo live action movie. We got it. We got a taste.
Yeah, I mean, we're both super pumped about it.
Yeah.
So
we were juiced and jammed, and we were a little apprehensive because the internet's been saying some things, but we had to see with eyes unclouded. And I gotta say, unfortunately, the reviews seem to be coming into light. What people have said about it seems to be ringing a little true here.
Yeah, because for all intents and purposes, it has been a complete and utter flop in Japan. Yeah. Fell out of the top 10 in the first 2 weeks. Has made pretty much no money. The performance of this movie has pretty much put the kibosh on them making more for the foreseeable future.
And I mean, this was a possibility that we prepared ourselves for. I prepared myself for.
Steal their souls.
Exactly. And I read a couple reviews, and it was mostly the guy who reviewed it was mostly talking about how he could see how fans would enjoy it, all the sort of little emotions that the characters would say, but he was again, that may work in a comic, but in a movie falls a little flat, and that's definitely absolutely an issue. You can notice it immediately. There's a lot of scenes in the first 13 minutes where, it's just not a lot of information, just kind of you get a lot of dumb face stuff.
Yeah, we end up again pausing on reactions to characters that we don't know for all assumed purposes, and then just on that there's even a scene where Jotaro is talking to Josuke and they're on Josuke, and then you hear Jotaro kind of answer what Josuke just says, and then they cut to Jotaro and Jotaro's mouth isn't moving, and it was just internal dialogue, but there was just no possible way for you to have known that as a viewer.
It's just a little strange, and it mostly comes down to the fact that they were trying to do the turtle scene, the most important scene, the start of that entire, manga.
Yeah, it sets up
everything, and it's such a beautiful, dynamic, layered scene. You get Koichi, you get Jotaro, you get the bullies, you get the girls, you get all these different people, and it's layered, and it's dynamic, and it's fast, and it's a little confusing, but it's kind of the point, and it just falls flat. It's just not... What they do is they split it up, they spread it out, they go to school and come back, it's 3 different scenes when it should be 1, and...
Yeah, they even have the part where it's the girls surrounding Josuke and Jotaro's trying to talk to him, and so they cut to this ridiculous set piece scene with a castle in the background.
It's pretty.
But then the girls and Koichi just kind of walk up and crash the scene anyway, and it's well, why did we even move geographically?
Yeah. And I mean, if any of this was done with a sort of intention to convey information better or a little bit different, it doesn't. The reason why this was done doesn't come across. They fail on a lot of parts because this is the stand scene. This is the scene where you're supposed to get information.
Everything comes together, and then it's interesting because we were talking about the director Takashi Miike. He did Ace Attorney, which we think is just a perfect movie.
It's wonderful.
And he does a really good job of going in with a super complicated kind of layered scene, but then even the reactions he has characters do it's very obvious that their overreactions are funny.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it doesn't. You're not quite sure if they're doing a good job with that, or if it's.
There's no fun or bizarre nature to things.
Right.
A lot of the reason that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure works is because the characters are taking themselves seriously, but it isn't extreme, and it is at this weird angle, and it is strange. So you get caught up in the what of it. And this comes across very flat. Even the scene where Starplat, brings out the chest, he's kind of just, sitting there, and, I don't know, put the scene where the psychic ghost comes out at an angle. I don't know, do something. It was a little... Yeah, and I understand. If this is indicative of anything else that happens in the movie, it's definitely going to be, what should be really juicy jelly spread really thin on multiple pieces of bread.
Right, yeah, and even beyond lacking kind of the style that we expect from a JoJo story, it also like just again doesn't convey the information. Like we get like a little taste scene where it's like, oh, Jotaro uses like the time stop for a second, and we're kind of like, oh, that's intriguing. Like, what is that?
Right.
And then they do it again, and like stands pop out and do things, and like he's just like, yeah, that's a stand, and like, but it's not even like funny. Like I just kind of did it. Like he's just like stands, and Josuke is just like, oh, okay, and the audience is just like. Again, there was no information conveyed there.
It was very.
It's a 2-hour movie. That's where we should have paused and be like, a stand is this.
Yeah, they even could have done it in the you know the what is it, the announcer voice where they're like
encyclopedia.
That would have
been cute.
That would have been fun. And hey, don't get us wrong. There's definitely like some gold mines in here. I'm sure. The first scene is Koichi arranging his Dark Pink Boy poster and manga collection.
So and that gives us our like as fans we can appreciate that.
And that's
it's subtle and it's quick, and so like a normal audience member could just be like, oh, you like manga, sure. But like we're appreciating doubly there. But then there are these scenes where like only the fans are really getting anything out of it.
Yeah,
and it's disappointing.
And even us we're just kind of like,
yeah, it's obvious. Like again,
we just want more. Like we're like, why isn't Jotaro 200 pounds heavier?
Exactly. Like our glasses are only so like rosy to begin with.
God.
About
Yeah, so we understand completely why this is not succeeding with respect to an audience.
Yeah, it's got that Pokemon movie syndrome of like, if you don't know what it's about, it's just kind of a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like,
so I guess we're just gonna take all this JoJo hype we had, and we're just gonna have to throw it at the Rohan OVA.
Yeah, which we are again still.
Well, we got those shots, so things are happening. But hey, we'll give the whole rundown once we get the whole movie digested.
We're still holding final judgment, absolutely.
Yeah,
but guys, definitely go check out the first 13 minutes if you are I don't know, spoiler friendly.
Yeah,
and let us know what you guys think.
Absolutely, get your fix because it's coming in small bursts right now, and we're gonna take all we can have.
Hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.